Hey everybody, what's good? What's going on? JB here with another CyberInsight live stream. We're back. We're doing another tip in this how to build out secure networks series that I'm putting together. So yeah, happy Friday to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good and they're getting ready for the weekend. So yeah, let's just hop right into what the tip for today is going to be about. It's something that we don't really talk too much about, but is just as important as the other types of configurations and things like that that we'd want to do within an environment, and that is network physical security. So let's hop over into our list of different controls that we were looking at before. Here we go. So yeah, this is a thing that isn't very sexy at all. People sometimes might not even think about it, depending upon the environment that you're in. It might be something that is completely baked into your building and the way things are already operating, so you might not even think about it too much. In other environments, it might be something where it's a serious gap in your cybersecurity, and that is making sure that you have the right physical security in place. So, in looking at the controls that we're using here in the network infrastructure policy STIG that we've been using as our guideline for coming up with these best practices, there's really three different controls here that I'm going to combine into one and make it something that's applicable to all different types of businesses. And so the first one is making sure that your circuit location or where your circuits that come into your building is terminated in a secure area. So if we look kind of at the fix and what they're talking about here, let me click over onto here, talking about having some type of locked or controlled communications closets or data center. I would say not only having a room that's separate and locked, but also having cabinets within that area that's secure and locked as well. Because oftentimes we might have different types of folks moving through the building and they might be able to get access into a room, maybe through some social engineering or something like that. But if they don't have keys to your racks, or you have some other type of maybe biometrics or something like that, controlling access to those racks, then that can make things a little bit harder. Especially if we take a step back and we're talking about getting access into those communication rooms or data center, having biometrics, man traps, other types of physical security controls can come into play and be quite advantageous and provide a better level of security than just, having your network equipment kind of sitting out in the open, maybe, I don't know, in a half rack that's attached to a wall or something like that. So circuit location is definitely a big one. So that's going to be your internet circuits or point-to-point circuits between your building and other locations. The second control that we're kind of combining into this is going to be the network devices themselves should be secured within either a comms closet and racks or within your data center. And then the third component of that deals with cross connects between your different types of networking devices. And that might be something that you might sleep on a little bit and might not really think about, but you want to make sure that not only are your network devices locked up and protected, but the patch panels that they'd be connecting into, you want to make sure that those are secure along with the rest of the infrastructure and equipment. So there's a few different types of things that we're trying to protect against when it comes to these types of things. I mean, so you could either have someone trying to get unauthorized access to your environment. And obviously, if they have the ability to plug into a switch or something like that, that could make that be quite a bit easier. Obviously, there's other types of logical controls that we can implement from a configuration standpoint on devices, but we want to try to make it as difficult and challenging as possible. Maybe they're not trying to get access into your network. Maybe they want to cause some type of disruption. And so that's equally the same type of issue as far as having that easy access there. So if they want to just go unplug stuff or cut some cables or things like that, maybe it's a insider threat or something like that. Again, having the devices locked up adds a few more barriers, a little bit more of a defense in depth type of perspective, but doing it from a physical perspective. And then the other thing is it could just be straight theft. I don't know how many of you follow different types of pen testers on Twitter, but TinkerSec, I think last year, well, actually last year would have been still during the pandemic. So let's go back 2 years earlier, was talking about a penetration test that he was on where he just was able to get to where the IT equipment was and take a whole server right out of the rack and just run out of the building with it. So there's lots of instances where you want to protect against that, depending on the type of device that you have. You might be using encryption at rest, which would, help alleviate some of those concerns. But I mean, maybe not. Maybe someone's going to go and steal your switch, pull it out, run out of the building with it. Now they have access to it. Then they can do a password recovery on it. Then they're able to find out what your local credentials are that you use on your switch. You might use those across all your other switches. And now they have, a bit of information that an adversary might want to use against you. So, yeah, something to think about. You definitely want to make sure that you take physical security as part of the overall scope of things when you're looking at network security in general. One other thing, I don't know, we might end up covering it later, but if we don't, it kind of has a tie-in here, and that is device authentication. That's another thing that we can do that adds another layer of security here that's beneficial. So using some type of port security with MAC addresses is a good thing to do. It is easy to spoof MAC addresses, so it might not necessarily keep out somebody who has a higher level of skill, but that's kind of a good baseline thing to do so folks can't just plug in whatever workstation they want into different ports. A better thing is using something like 802.1x. So that would be CERT-based device authentication. And that is really going to make things a lot more challenging when you have that implemented on your access switches. So if anybody has any questions or comments, they can drop them here right now. If not, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll continue moving on with this. I might do these videos over the weekend. If not, then we'll definitely be back on Monday. If you do enjoy this content, especially we're streaming it on Twitch, would love to get some new followers on Twitch. On YouTube, hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And if you're new to the channel on there, then hit the subscribe button as well. That's a really great and easy way to show your appreciation for the content. So, all right, well, I'm going to let everybody go. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will talk soon. All right, bye.